Hello, everyone. Welcome to Consortia Small Business Accountants, How to Build a High-Performance Small Business. This is Session 1, Introduction. So, what is a high-performance small business? A high-performance small business is a business that exceeds small business industry, financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity standards. Small business clarification. A small business is defined in terms of the number of employees or annual receipts. No matter the size of your small business, the information shared in this video series applies to all small businesses. There are many kinds of small businesses, and there are many kinds of individuals small businesses serve, such as customers, clients, and patients. In this video series, we generally refer to these individuals as customers. So who should be here? You should be here if you own or manage or plan to own or manage a small business. Why should you be here? At the end of this video series, you'll have two options. One, take what you learn and build a high-performance small business. Two, have Consortia Small Business Accountants assist you in building a high-performance business. How to build a high-performance small business. We present our small business system to small business owners and managers who want to build a high-performance small business. You learn how to increase your financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity. You save time and money if you build a small business from a business model. You build a high-performance business if you build it from a high-performance business model. Our small business system is a high-performance small business model. Business system. A business system is a set of interconnected business processes that work together to achieve the company's primary business objectives. Each process has a defined set of objectives, policies, and procedures that are applied to achieve their respective results. Consortia Small Business Accountants Small Business System. This video series presents our small business system. 1. We're going to address primary business objectives. 2. We'll address primary business processes. And 3. Primary business process objectives. So as far as primary business objectives, there are 4. You're looking to increase your financial condition. You're looking to increase your profit. You want to increase your cash flow. And you want to increase your equity. If you're able to do these things, then you will have a high-performance business. Primary business objectives source. So how do we measure those things? Well, you'll find that as far as financial condition, you measure it from the balance sheet. As far as profit, you measure it from your income statement or your P&L or profit and loss statement. As far as cash flow, you'll measure it from your statement of cash flows. And as far as equity, you measure it from the statement of changes in owner's equity. So it's important that you receive, at least on a monthly basis, these 4 primary financial statements. So as far as primary business processes to be able to achieve those 4 primary objectives, 1, we have research and development, 2, marketing, 3, sales, 4, production, 5, finance, and 6, customer service. Now, what you have to understand is that although these business processes need to be taking place, they don't have to be complex. And in a small business, they should be very basic and simple. So let's talk about each one. So when I say research and development, research is the process of determining the demand and the supply of your target market. The objective is to increase your profit by determining what products and services your market wants or needs and how much they will pay for it. Development is the process of improving or developing products and services that supply the demand of your target market. The objective is to increase profit by improving or developing products or services with a higher demand and a lower supply. Marketing. Marketing is the process of cultivating relationships with prospective customers. The objective is to consistently generate prospective customers. Now, by the way, for your information, we have 7 sessions in this video series, and we will be talking about each one of these processes in detail in the other sessions. Selling or sales. Sales is the process of asking for a prospective customer's business. The objective is to consistently generate sales. Production. Production is the process of performing a service or producing a product. The objective is to perform the service or product as efficiently and effectively as possible. Efficiently means using resources or time in the most productive way, minimizing waste. Effective means producing the desired result or achieving what is intended. Efficiently focuses on how things are done. Effectiveness focuses on what is achieved. Productivity. Productivity measures how efficiently services are performed and products are produced. A very important measurement in production. Finance. Finance is the management of cash, generally including the following finance activities, and there are 3. We have finance, or I should say cash, from operating cash flow, from investing cash flow, and from financing cash flow. Now, for your information, obviously operating cash flow is cash generated from the sale of your products and services. Investing cash flow is basically we're always looking to get to a point to where we have excess cash. So the question is, we're just not going to have it sit there in our operating account generating nothing. So we want to invest that cash to get a return on our money while we're not using it. So we need to look at investing cash flow. And then as the business grows, we need to replace that truck or that printer or whatever the case may be. We're going to need to obtain financing or generate financing through cash flow to be able to pay for that equipment that we need. So there are 3 categories of cash. But the primary source and use of cash is operating cash flow. The lifeblood of any business is operating cash flow. And so we focus more on that. We do talk about what to do with excess cash as far as investing, not in this series, but in other series that we offer. We also talk about financing. Oftentimes we help clients obtain, for example, SBA loans or loans in general. Okay, and so the idea is that those things are important. But again, the most important thing is focusing on operating cash flow, which we will address in a few sessions. So, customer service or client care. Customer service is the support, assistance, and advice provided by a company to those who buy or use its products or services. Customer service is practiced in a way that reflects the values and strategies of your business. So it's extremely important that we practice customer service, or in our case, we call it client care. Now, let's talk about how each of these contribute to the overall business process. So again, we kind of begin with research and development. So for example, if we were starting a business today, the first thing we would have done is decided what products or what services are we going to offer to the specific target market that we have targeted. So then what we're going to do is begin to market or communicate, begin to cultivate relationships to be able to have those people come and purchase them from us. But at this point, they're prospective customers. And then what happens is that sales kicks in, takes the prospective customers, and then begins to convert them into a customer through their process. And then, of course, once we have a sale of a product or a service, we either deliver it or we build it or whatever the case may be, or I should say perform it. And so we do the work, the production. And then, of course, we want to make sure we get paid for the work we've done, again, through operating cash flow. And so we want to make sure that we get paid as soon as possible. And then, of course, we're constantly practicing customer service, always looking for ways to improve how our clients feel about us, how happy they are. And then, of course, we manage these 6 processes. So the point being made here is that the way I like to look at this is that managers are kind of like symphony conductors. And although there's only 4 sections to a symphony, here, of course, we're talking about 6. And so they have to manage 6 sections. Now, they rely on people who know what they're doing. So, for example, if I am the CEO, I would typically, over time, have a manager to manage research and development, a manager for marketing, a manager for sales, a manager for production, a manager for finance, a manager for customer service. And then, of course, we would have team members under those managers who are performing the work under their management. And then as a CEO, we're overall managing each, or I should say, all of these together so that we're able to create a crescendo, or in other words, create harmony, again, using my conductor metaphor. Okay, so primary business process objectives. So we need to do these things for what reason? So number one, the reason why we manage, now yes, we could say to increase financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity. But the way we do that, and we'll be talking about in our next series, our next session, is by gaining a competitive edge. So you look at your target market, you provide the services and products you think they need, and then you gain a competitive edge. That means you stand out above and beyond your competitors. You know you have competitors, but the idea is to be better than your competitors. So the way the manager is able to do that, accomplish those things, is by gaining a competitive edge. And again, we'll talk about that in our next session. So number 2, research and development. We're looking for ways to improve and develop services and products, always. Number 3, marketing. We're consistently generated prospective customers. 4, sales. We're consistently wanting to generate customers. Now, of course, marketing generates prospective customers. That's their job. And sales' job is to take those prospective customers and turn them into clients, or I should say customers. And 5, again, is to produce and improve productivity, whether we're creating products, selling products, or performing services. As far as finance, we're always looking for ways to improve cash flow, most importantly from operating cash flow. And 7, we're looking for ways as far as customer service to make and keep customers happy. And we'll talk about why. So small business problems. And every small business has problems, but when you get to a point that we're trying to get you to, they're very minor, okay? But you're always working on something. But overall, the point being made is that the problems typically incurred are, number 1, I'm just not competitive in my market. Number 2, I'm not as profitable as I'd like to be. Number 3, I'm just not generating customers the way I'd like. Number 4, I know I could be more productive. Number 5, I know I could increase my cash flow, or I need to because bills are due and I don't have the money to pay it. 6, customer retention. The idea is that I work so hard to get customers, and I want to keep the customers that I obtain. In other words, keep my customer turnover low. But the point being made is that these are the common things. And what happens? They are tied, of course, to the primary business processes. So many small businesses don't implement all the primary processes or implement them effectively. That's what creates almost all of your problems. So as far as primary business process results, number 1, management. Again, if we're managing effectively, working on the business and not in the business, we're increasing financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity by gaining a competitive edge over our competition. Number 2, research and development. We're always looking for ways to increase profit, and we do so through developing new products, services, etc. 3, marketing. We're always wanting to increase the prospective customers. And 4, sales. We're always wanting to increase customers from those prospective customers. And 5, production. We're always looking for ways to increase productivity. And 6, as far as finance, we're always looking for ways to increase cash flow. And number 7, we're looking for ways to, of course, retain customers, increase customer revenue, and increase customer referrals. So those are the results we're looking for. And if we're not getting those results, and by the way, you'll find that almost all problems in small businesses fit within one of these 7 things because we're not doing them or we're not doing them effectively. Okay? Somebody comes to us and says, gosh, I'm having this problem. We can tie it right to one of the primary business processes, which means let's start there. Let's focus on that and improve it. So as far as Consortia Small Business Accountants, although Consortia Small Business Accountants provides bookkeeping, payroll, accounting, and tax services, we use the information gathered from those services to measure the performance of your business and make recommendations to increase your financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity. So through this series that we're presenting right now, we're letting you know what should happen to create a high-performance business. But the idea is then you need to implement it. So again, as we started today, you can either attempt it on your own or we can help you, which we'd be more than happy to do, and that's what we love to do. That's the point. We're not just bookkeepers, we're just not payroll people, we're not accountants, we're not just accountants and tax services. Yes, we do have those people. But the overall reason why we're in this game working with small businesses is to help small businesses succeed. We're very successful. We'd like to help others become successful as well. So as far as Consortia Small Business Accountants, small business processes, the idea then, the way we look at it, is that in a sense we become your silent partner. So when it comes to improving management, R&D, marketing, sales, production, finance, customer service, the idea is that, again, through this series, you're going to learn what needs to be done. And we try to keep it basic and simple and not complex. But the idea is, how will it get done? And what, of course, we'd like to do is work with you to help you get these things done. So let me finish here with as far as you've heard this before. It's called synergy. Synergy is the interaction or cooperation of 2 or more organizations or processes to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. In other words, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So the point we're making here is 2 things. When it comes to 2 or more organizations, we would love to help you, our organization, help your organization, work as a team. And we want to help you, obviously, to work with those processes to make sure that we're creating synergy. Each one of them are functioning. So, for example, you'll notice that our big theme is high performance, and we use high performance cars to communicate that theme. And so if you look at a high performance car, obviously high performance cars have high performance engines. And so to have a high performance engine, say for example a 6-cylinder, the idea is you need to have those 6 cylinders, those pistons, functioning simultaneously. They need to create synergy so that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's the idea. And so that's what we want to be able to help you do. But again, you'll learn them, and you can certainly do it on your own. So that concludes session 1, how to build a high-performance small business. So next session will be management, how we increase financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity. In our 3rd session, research and development, how we increase profit. 4th session, marketing and sales, how we increase prospective customers and customers. 5, production, how we increase productivity. Session 6, finance, how we increase cash flow. And number 7, customer service, how we retain customers, increase customer revenue, and increase customer referrals. We hope this has been worth your time. We're more than happy to help and assist you, but what I would suggest you do is listen to the sessions, and at the end decide if you're going to give it a go on your own, great, and if we can help you, great, and if not, that's fine. Thank you very much for attending. Have yourself a wonderful day.